5 developers create the hit indie adventure game SILKSONG, but there's a twist. They can't even communicate. Will they be able to capture some of the essence of this masterpiece, or end up with a bug-infested prototype that's a shame to behold? We have a wild lineup of very talented game developers for this episode, so buckle up, let's begin.
My name is Carton Coffee, and I have over 10 years of experience making 2D hand-drawn game art. The first thing I need to do is create the character. The main character in SILKSONG is Hornet, but I don't think I can improve on Team Cherry's work, especially in 7 days. So what if SILKSONG wasn't about Hornet? That's right, it's time for Sherma to become the hero of Farloom. There's actually quite a lot of animations I need to make for Sherma to be as dynamic as Hornet, but I definitely won't have time to make them all. In the end, I made a list of 29 animations to get done, and I managed to finish 23. Here are some of them now. Next up, I want to create an enemy for Sherma to fight. So, why not a boss fight? The idea of Hornet being captured led me to keep thinking about cages. So, I made a boss centered around that. And to work in some of that SILKSONG lore, I thought it would be fun to fill the cage with lost fleas. Out of 13 planned animations, I got 11 done. I didn't have time to give him too many attacks, but hopefully there's enough here for the other devs to work with. But I'm not quite done yet. I thought it would be worthwhile to create a simple flea enemy for the boss to spawn. I figured this could make the fight a little more interesting, and this is what it looks like. There were 6 planned animations for this guy, and I actually managed to get it all done. Now, finally, this adventure needs a location to take place in, but there's no way I have time to make something completely original from scratch that would be comparable to SILKSONG with only 2 days left, unless I did something similar to the Bell Beast Arena. All I would need to do is paint a ton of Bell assets, which is a lot more manageable than most of the other locations in Farloom. On my last day, I also made some quick VFX, mostly slashes and impacts. And altogether, this is what 7 days of game art looks like. Everything you just saw, the design, animation, background art, and VFX, is exactly the kind of stuff I teach inside of my game art school. If you ever wanted to create hand-drawn game art for your own projects, then this is a great place to learn and improve your skills. I even have a full Hollow Knight case study available right now at school.com/gameart. That's all the time I have for this project.
Heyo everybody, I'm Joe Sullivan, the creator of Floramancer Seeds and Spells, a top-down action game where you grow spells to fight for rare seeds and take your home back from deforestation. Check it out on Steam. Wow, this art is insane. There's so much of it. All of it is so accurate to SILKSONG. I can't wait to get started on this environment. If you've played these games before, you've probably noticed that it's actually a 3D game with art layered at different depths. And this scene has 35 different layers and creates this amazing parallax effect. Next was the player. I like to turn all the art off and just focus on the physics and make sure it feels right. Then I make those physics into states, feed those states to the animator, and you get this. Next was the boss. In a more arcadey Nintendo style video game, the enemy attacks are triggered in a predetermined loop. But in SILKSONG and similar games, the boss's next attack is determined by the distance to the player and its attempts to not repeat attacks in a row. And here's the boss. I made the boss explode on death by slicing the texture into pieces in Photoshop and giving them each their own physics. Then you put a force in the center and it causes them to explode and release these evil fleas that you gotta fight. I'm real proud of this one. I'm a huge fan of SILKSONG. This is a great challenge. Thanks everybody.
Hey, I'm Neil, I'm an indie game dev, and I'm currently working on the video game Villain's Quest. If you're into roguelike twin-stick shooters with hand-drawn frame-by-frame animation, tons of enemies on screen and lots of upgradable weapons and abilities, this one might be for you. Feel free to wishlist it on Steam now. So, opening the project, I see we have some amazing looking assets and animations. Unfortunately though, I did run into a few issues. Controls were a little buggy at times, and it would occasionally lock me out of combat. Plus it only supported mouse and keyboard, and I'll be honest, I'd sucked with those controls. So to start with, I rebuilt the player controller using Unity's newer input system, which gives us full gamepad support from the start. While I was at it, I split up the code into separate scripts to have a separation of concerns for Sherma's actions. I added in a double jump and made it so that the sprint now follows on from the dash, instead of having them as two separate buttons. You'll notice new particle effects, little fade lights and dust particles. I added bell particles too, built from creating a sprite atlas and animated through the particle system. Sherma now also kicks up bells as she walks or sprints. I also drew the iconic bench with glow particles using a material that I built out in Shader Graph. I created and implemented new UI assets for health and energy, plus an upgrade graphic for the wall jump ability. When I reworked the controls, I wanted them to feel as close to SILKSONG as possible, so I literally ran both games side by side. I was in one window, SILKSONG in another. If I could get SILKSONG's SFX and timings to line up, I knew it would be close. I also added some environmental bells connected with hinge joints. I built out a section where the floor starts to shake using lean tween to animate it, complete with screen shake, controller vibration and dust particles before collapsing. Then as you move over a specific section, the boss bursts out the floor with that classic Hollow Knight boss title fading in. I also reworked the boss itself. His attacks are now more readable and fair. I kept the spinning move the previous dev thought of, but added wall bounces and smooth lerping transitions to it. For his second attack, he now does a bunny hop move with a chance to spawn fleet enemies. His third attack has him burrow underground, show some dust and bell particles for anticipation, then emerge under the player. I upgraded the hit VFX too, so now they'll change based on the direction of your attack. I also added a white blood particle effect that spawns subparticles when colliding with the floor or walls. I also made a damage glow shader in Shader Graph. When the player or enemy takes damage, the glow value lerps from 0 to 1. I really like the idea the previous dev did of the cage exploding. I enhanced this by redrawing the cage in separate parts and adding physics in the direction of each part as it explodes. Next, I refined the pogo mechanic. It used to work a little inconsistently, but now you can use it to continuously bounce off enemies. And I further enhanced it so that you can bounce off certain environmental objects. I noticed that in SILKSONG the camera is very dynamic depending on what part of the level you're in, so I updated the camera to use the Cinemachine package. I added these specific zones where the camera will no longer follow the player. Using that system, I created a little secret area hidden behind a wall with a little pogo challenge. I added another secret wall where you'll find a familiar face if you played the original Hollow Knight. I created him with just 4 frames for an idle animation. You can't yet free him, but maybe a future dev will do that, or perhaps he'll just remain trapped forever.
Oh my god, my Shayla!
And on to the next dev.
Hey, it's Lighthoof Dryden here. SILKSONG is probably my new favorite game, so this was an instant yes from me. Opening up the project, the character's handling really well already, but it was missing that trademark Hollow Knight attack recoil. I added that and did a couple other tweaks. Then it was time for what I was invited to do, the music. Luckily, I had one of the greatest musical minds of our generation to guide me. And that melody became the foundation for the whole score. I started by writing a title theme. And then the B section comes in, repeating this motif that mimics the end part of Sherma's melody. In the final bit, a version of the original melody comes in to harmonize. And of course, we had to have his classic triangle sound throughout. Next, we needed some exploration music for the bellways. I wanted to capture the shifting instability of the piles of bells, so I took a bunch of metallic percussion instruments and made loops of different lengths to layer on top of each other. There's a 7/4, a 6/4, a 5/4, and a 4/4. This makes them never line up quite the same way. On top of that, I played all of the loops in manually, and I wasn't that strict if I felt inspired to mix it up. Underneath this, piano and cello hold down a super slow melody that's punctuated by tubular bells. Last, I had to do a boss theme. This had to come together in under a day, and I think it would sound a lot cooler with real instruments and vocalists, but there are still some cool compositional moments, and I was able to sneak in some SHRMA too. Then, I gotta implement everything. I imported my custom audio system, and I got at least a few sounds plopped in. Finally, I wrote a main theme, so I wanted to make a main menu to put it in. The beautiful art assets that are already in this game gave me plenty to work with, and from there it's just setting up layers of particle systems. And by the way, if you like Hollow Knight, chances are you might like my game Disinherited. I'm developing it all by myself. It's a roguelike instead of a Metroidvania, there's no contact damage, and it's more focused on reactions like throwing, catching, and parrying. Check it out on my channel, Lighthoof Dryden, if that sounds cool. Thanks so much for having me, and on to the next dev.
Alright, SILKSONG Game Dev Challenge. Whoa! Oh my god! This looks incredible! What can we do? Bench is not doing anything. What does it do? Very, very slick. No sound effects. So I know what I'm going to be doing. The art direction is stunning, the play controller feels really good, the boss battle was great. However, beyond that, there is just not a whole lot there. This is the last round. What makes SILKSONG so special is the level design, the exploration, and the enemy design. Oh, maybe I've been sent the wrong version. Let me check. Just wanted to confirm the project sent to me is the latest. Small scene with a boss fight. Is this correct?
Yes, sir, that's it.
We've got work to do. So first up, I expanded on this level, creating something the player can explore and get a little lost in, with a nice mix of horizontal and vertical corridors. Then I sprinkled in some spinning razor blades. My favourite SILKSONG enemy is the humble Pilgrim Groveler. I love this enemy, it's so funny. Frames, code, sound. I like it. And then SHRMA herself stopped by to record some sounds. I then pillaged my personal project for some combat sounds. Yoink. A bit of screen shake code and we're good to go. And there is no SHRMA song without SHRMA's song. I could not be happier with how this turned out. The whole team did such an incredible job. I'm really proud of the work here, and while this is far from SILKSONG, I feel we really did capture a bit of its magic. The mission was a success. Oh, and if you manage to reach this collectible, you'll be rewarded with a secret message I recorded. It's very profound. Oh, done. By the way, I happen to be working on a large 2D combat adventure called Blood and Mead. If you enjoyed SILKSONG, I think you'll like this too. And it's nearly finished. I can't believe it. So give it a wishlist.
There we go. Oh, I've never been more afraid in my life, actually.
There we go. Oh, and it killed me. The explosion killed me. Nice, nice. Awesome, solid work. Oh, the fleas are still coming out.
I thought the end result was cool. I think that, like, as everyone said, it would be nice to have more time to polish things up. It's like, I was surprised that all the animations I made didn't get in, because I was just like, I wish I could make a bit more animations, a bit more stuff here, a new enemy there. But, like, I don't have enough for them. Like, they won't have enough to play with. So I was, like, very concerned.
To, like, use some magic or whatever, using that actual jingle, or, you know, using it to heal herself, because we didn't really get to the heals, because I think the only time you could heal was when you got to, like, a check marker. So it would have been nice to do the actual healing stuff as well.
Like, she could, like, levitate the bells or something and use them as attacks, because there was a point in the game where he could lift the gate by singing. So what if they actually got the powers to actually levitate things through song?
And SHRMA is a very motivated character within the game too. He has like the largest transformation arc of any of the characters in SILKSONG, I think. So there's a lot to work with him like wanting to help the other pilgrims and, you know, be a source of uplifting light.
What unique Silksong style like enemies or environments you would love to bring to life? An ant nest or something as well.
They don't do
I'm not
much
sure
with
how much-
scale in Silksong, like giant, or in the Hollow Knight world, like a giant, like human-sized thing you have to like move through.
Yeah.
Like they do that a lot in Bug Fables, where they play with like the scale of them being small, but the bugs feel big in the Hollow Knight universe.
I really like the idea of if that world did discover a human or like a skull, like a level where you're inside of a human skeleton.
Whole Silksong kingdom could maybe just take place in your backyard.
Oh, anytime you... I gotta keep it moving so I can talk. Pretty much exactly what I thought should happen happened here. More platforming sections, more exploration. Yeah, that was really fun.
Remember to check out the Game Dev Christmas calendar if you also want to make video games and gain access to some amazing asset packs, live training sessions, and many other Game Dev surprises. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We have a bunch of crazy episodes in the making, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss them. Stay tuned. Cheers.